I know who you are.
You're the only one who knows who I am.
High Crimes, the network premiere tonight.
In front of Judge Block.
Anthony Gaspipe Casso earned his reputation as the most feared gangster in New York. Listen to how he describes one of his many murders.
I shot him a couple of times.
Well, what's a couple?
Really, I don't know the exact amount. Maybe I shot him 10 times, 12 times.
Maybe 15 even.
It could have been 15.
And there's a lot more to his story. He says he hired cops to help him kill. And that's why he's on 60 Minutes tonight.
On your payroll?
But,
Cops?
yeah, the cops.
So much Homeland Security money has been appropriated that some places are having trouble figuring out how to spend it. Alameda County Sheriff Charlie Plummer used Homeland Security money to buy underwater cameras that were used in the search for Lacey Peterson, a boat with diving equipment, and the first ever lead-lined weapons of mass destruction container.
If you come up with biological or radiological material, you put it in there and cart it away?
Cart it away, yeah.
Does it work?
Well, we haven't used it yet.
How do you go from Tom Hayden living in the shack and turn around and marry a billionaire?
You can get used to being taken care of very fast.
You can get used to a billionaire like that.
I mean, it doesn't take much.
I'll bet.
She's talking about being married to Ted Turner. Even after their divorce, she calls him her favorite ex-husband and admits she still sees him.
You get together. We do. We do, yes.
I'm Mike Wallace.
I'm Morley Safer.
I'm Ed Bradley.
I'm Steve Croft.
I'm Leslie Stahl. Those stories and Andy Rooney tonight on 60 Minutes.
Excuse me, you're still with your old brokerage firm?
I know, but I like being able to talk to somebody when I have a question.
Look, I don't want to be out there in cyberspace all by myself.
We moved our money to a TD Waterhouse online account. Their people really make us feel connected.
TD Waterhouse has investment consultants you can talk to when you have a question, so you're not out there all on your own. You can do this. Switch to TD Waterhouse, the alternative to higher-priced brokers like Merrill Lynch and Smith Barney.
Not one of these allergy medicines can give you long-lasting seasonal allergy relief without the risk of drowsiness. But Allegro 180 can, for people 12 and over. Side effects are low and may include headache, cold, or backache. Choose long-lasting prescription Allegra.
Why do I use Neosporin? I've got my reasons.
And now there's another. A study shows Neosporin ointment kills more types of infectious bacteria than even the leading prescription and helps cuts heal 4 days faster than a bandage alone.
How many more reasons do I need?
So many cuts and scrapes. Only one Neosporin. Every cut, every time.
Introducing Roundup Extended Control. It kills tough weeds fast. And now it also prevents. Just spray wherever you don't want weeds, and you won't get weeds for up to 1, 2, 3 full months. New Roundup Extended Control. Weeds have met their match.
When you want to get away,
Let's go, girls!
Enterprise Rent-A-Car will pick you up free and get you on your way. Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
The Amazing Race journeys to exotic India, and only 5 teams remain.
One little mistake could be the end.
Out of the way! Out of the way! The boyfriends find themselves in a chariot race.
You feel like Ben-Hur.
And the most extraordinary moment in Amazing Race history, when the heart of a nation opens up to the teams. A new Amazing Race, CBS Tuesday. Over the years, we've done our share of stories about police corruption, but none as astonishing as the one you're about to hear. It's the story of 2 New York City police officers who stand accused of moonlighting as hitmen for the mafia. Louis Eppolito and Stephen Caracappa, two highly decorated former detectives, were indicted last month for the murders of 8 people. Murders committed on the orders of a vicious mob boss who is now in jail. That mobster is Anthony Gaspipe Casso. He told us about his extraordinary relationship with the two cops in the only interview he has ever given.
I had law enforcement on my payroll, so I had them looking after me.
On your payroll?
Right.
Cops?
Yeah, the cops.
I spoke to Anthony Gaspipe Casso in 1998 in prison, where he began serving a life sentence after admitting to 36 murders. Casso said detectives Louis Eppolito and Stephen Caracappa helped him commit 8 of those murders. His claims couldn't be substantiated at the time, so we couldn't air them until now that the detectives have been indicted. Prosecutors say for a hefty salary, Eppolito and Caracappa would walk right up to Casso's enemies, trick them into believing they were under arrest, and instead kidnap and deliver them to Casso to be executed. That's exactly what Casso told us the detectives did to a young hood named Jimmy Heidel, whom he believed had tried to kill him.
Louis and Steve went by a club where the kid was staying. They believed they were going to arrest him. They put him in the car. I used to have cars for him. I gave him a car for this guy, looked like a police car, an unmarked car. I gave him the car. They put him in the car. The kid thought they were taking him to the station house, but they took him to a garage. When they got him to the garage, they laid him on the floor. They tied his feet, his hands, cuffs, put him in the trunk of the car, right? The police car comes in. The guy's kicking in the trunk. He's making noise. And I took him to a place that I had prearranged, somebody's house that I could use, pulled the car in the driveway. I brought him in there, sat him down. I wanted to know why I was shot, and who told you, and who else was involved, and who, and who gave you the orders to shoot me. After that, I killed the kid. Myself.
You killed it?
Right.
Was it just one shot to the head?
No, I didn't shoot him in the head. I didn't shoot him. I was in somebody's house. You make a mess. I shot him a couple of times. I didn't torture the kid. I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything like that.
Well, what's a couple?
More than a couple. It's a couple. Really, I don't know the exact amount. Maybe I shot him 10 times, 12 times.
Maybe 15 even.
It could have been 15. At that time, I gave Louis and Steve, I think, $45,000 for them delivering them to me.
These are the two cops?
Right.
You gave them a bonus for delivering someone to you killed?
Right. Well, they wanted to kill him for me. I didn't even have to do that. They were going to get him, kill him, and throw him, do whatever I wanted to do with him.
What's more, prosecutors say Casso used the two cops to commit a range of dirty deeds. They allegedly tapped into the NYPD database and funneled confidential police information to him, including wiretaps and police surveillance containing addresses and other key details about Casso's enemies. One by one, prosecutors say, Casso had them killed, with a little help from his two friends on the NYPD. Casso's allegations have stunned even the most hardened lawmen who worked on the case, like Brooklyn District Attorney Charles Hines.
And I was shocked, because for all of the experience I've had over the years with police corruption cases, I've never had anything like this.
You never saw anything that came close to it?
I've seen organized corruption cases, but the allegation of two cops being hitmen, in addition to giving up people for hits, just absolutely shocking.
All the more shocking given that the detectives have received hundreds of commendations for bravery and excellence in the line of duty. Louis Eppolito is among the most decorated cops in NYPD history. Amazing considering his family. Eppolito's father, known as Fat the Gangster, was a mob enforcer, and his uncle, Jimmy the Clam, a mafia captain. In the end, the federal prosecutor who indicted Eppolito says he couldn't resist the murderous life of the mob.
For years, Eppolito and Caracappa were cops, mafia cops.
It's an obscenity, Ed, that kind of allegation. It's scurrilous. It's not true. This is me speaking. I'm Lou's lawyer.
Bruce Cutler, who became famous representing mobster John Gotti, is now defending Louis Eppolito against charges that he worked for mob boss Anthony Casso.
Let me ask you, Ed, why would somebody who went up the ladder in the police department received awards for bravery above and beyond the call of duty? Why would you besmirch and tarnish everything you stand for, Ed, to do the bidding of a reprobate like Casso?
If your client is innocent of all of the charges, why, out of all of the officers in the New York City Police Department, did Anthony Casso choose him to say this about?
I can't give you the motive. I never could, I never will, I never could understand it. And I've tried so many federal cases where witnesses like Casso, who want to get out from under, blame others. And especially if it's sexy, if it's appealing. And when you shake the police department like that, it becomes a front-page case.
Louis Eppolito made front-page news for the first time back in 1984 in a case unrelated to Anthony Casso. He was charged with passing files to another mobster under investigation. Eppolito was eventually cleared, but felt betrayed by the police department for suspecting him in the first place, and he said so publicly.
I worked my ass off, I worked my balls off for the city of New York, and all I got was you're Italian, and you had family members that were in organized crime.
About anger. He had answered a filmmaker's ad in a local newspaper seeking people who were having difficulty controlling their anger. Listen to the depth of his rage as he recalls what he said to his bosses when, while under investigation, they called him in and made him surrender his badge.
I said, if you keep insisting on f***ing with me, I said, I'm going to give you a beating that your mother's going to throw up when I show you a picture. I said, I'm not bull***ing you. I said, don't try to go at me anymore than you're doing. I said, because the 4 guys with you got to realize by the time they get up, I said, I'm going to break your nose and take your teeth out at one shot. And the anger started to come.
A year after he gave this interview, prosecutors say Eppolito committed his first murder for Casso and kept on killing well after he retired in 1990. He later wrote his autobiography called Mafia Cop, the story of an honest cop whose family was the mob. He also built a new career for himself as an actor.
I know I'd go from rags to riches.
In Goodfellas, he played, of all things, a mobster. He appeared in more than a dozen films, including one he wrote himself, in which he portrayed a corrupt union boss who crosses the mafia. But in real life, prosecutors say it was Eppolito and his former partner Stephen Caracappa who were doing the killing. They say that for some extra cash, the detectives actually went so far as to pull the trigger themselves. Casso told me the 2 cops brazenly murdered a crime family associate named Eddie Lino after forcing him off a New York City highway.
I gave them $75,000. They killed him cowboy style. They pulled alongside of him. They shot him. They made him crash into the fence alongside the Bell Parkway on the Service Road. Right? Then Steve got out of the car, ran across the street, and finished shooting him, finished killing him in the car. Then they got back in and they went away.
Nobody in their right mind would go into any kind of activity with Casso because he was a raving, screaming lunatic.
Ed Hayes insists his client, Stephen Caracappa, never committed a single crime for mobster Anthony Gaspipe Casso, much less a murder along a crowded highway.
Can't imagine a riskier thing to do. It's the Bell Parkway at a time when it's very busy. It's not as if there's not going to be people going by and very likely police cars. So it seems like almost a movie version of a crime. It's something, the kind of thing you could see Casso making up.
But someone did it.
That's right.
And they're saying that your guy did it?
That's right. They're saying that he did it. My guy says he didn't. Nobody would take Casso's word for anything.
Prosecutors say Casso has, in fact, lied as a federal witness in past cases.
They killed Eddie
But
Lino.
in this case, they believe the stories he told us about Eppolito and Caracappa. For years, though, prosecutors couldn't corroborate his allegations until an ex-cop named Tommy Dades helped break the case wide open. After receiving a tip, Detective Dades came out of retirement as a boxing coach and went to work in the offices of the Brooklyn District Attorney, digging through old mafia case files.
You sat in an office for months by yourself, pouring through records, computer files, phone logs.
I would go over as much information to try and come up with a mistake that they made here, a mistake that they may have made there.
Was there a moment when you said, I got him?
There was a moment that got me very excited that I knew I was on the right track.
Dades discovered that Detective Caracappa, who worked in the organized crime unit, had run a search on the police department computer and got an address for a man named Nicky Guido. Guido was one of the people Casso thought was part of the team sent to assassinate him. A month later, at that very same address, Nicky Guido was gunned down. Louise Carbonaro is his cousin.
I remember my mom calling me, screaming on the phone. Louise, Louise, they killed Nicky. She said, they shot Nicky. They put 9 bullets in him, and he's dead.
They said in the news that this was a mob hit.
Yes.
How did that impact the family?
Oh, my gosh. Well, we couldn't believe it, knowing Nicky. But then there were the questions. Did he lead a double life, you know?
The truth is, he did not lead a double life. Prosecutors say Caracappa mistakenly gave Anthony Casso the address for the wrong Nicky Guido and led Casso to kill an innocent man.
You know, they glorify organized crime in these movies and all, and they always say, well, they just kill each other. Innocent people don't die. I'm sorry, innocent people do die. They made a mistake, and they hit my cousin by mistake.
So just a case of mistaken identity.
That was it. Senseless. A senseless killing.
The appearance here is that your client runs the name of Nicky Guido through a police department computer, and then within a month, Nicky Guido gets 9 bullets to his body.
Yes, but Caracappa would have been in a perfect position to find out if he was the right Nicky Guido or the wrong Nicky Guido. That's not a mistake that Caracappa could have made.
There's an argument that maybe they were just sloppy.
Yes, I agree with that. But in this country, you don't convict on an argument. You have to have proof beyond a reasonable doubt.
Federal prosecutors say they can meet that burden and now claim to have several witnesses with direct knowledge that detectives Caracappa and Eppolito were hitmen. Tommy Dades, like many other law enforcement officials, is still trying to comprehend the allegation that 2 highly decorated police officers crossed so far over the thin blue line.
You raise your right hand when you swear into the police academy, and you're there to uphold the law and to do the right thing. To actually go out and murder somebody and then go back to work, it takes a certain type of individual to be able to go to sleep at night after that. And they were probably never cops. They were just criminals that slipped through the system and obtained shields,
Louis Eppolito and Stephen Caracappa are in jail awaiting trial. If convicted, they each face life in prison.
CBS News Money Watch is sponsored by Cialis. Ask your doctor if Cialis is right for you.
Good evening. Gas prices hit a record $2.29 a gallon after soaring 19 cents over the last 3 weeks. 14% of us plan to go down to the wire for next Friday's tax deadline. 9 million plan to ask for extensions. And the action movie Sahara was a box office scorcher. I'm Mika Brzezinski, CBS News.
If Sarah wants to turn a cozy moment into the right moment, I want to be ready. That's why I asked my doctor about Cialis. Cialis is the only erectile dysfunction tablet proven to not only work fast, but also work up to 36 hours. 36 hours to be the guy she can count on. 36 hours to respond to her the way I want to when the moment is right.
Cialis is only for men healthy enough for sexual activity. Do not take Cialis if you take nitrates for chest pain or certain alpha blockers for prostate problems or high blood pressure, as this may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Don't drink alcohol in excess with Cialis. Side effects may include headache, upset stomach, delayed backache, or muscle ache. Erections lasting longer than 4 hours, though rare, require immediate medical help. Discuss your health status with your doctor and ask if Cialis is right for you.
Sure, I did it for me. But it's not just about me, is it?
36-hour Cialis. When the moment is right, will you be ready?
For news 24 hours a day, go to CBSNews.com.
sunny, sunny, verdant, flowing vales, where the sweetest joy gladness ever there prevails, where the sunshine lingers on the ground, majestic hell on that happy place side of life.
You forgot the middle.
What did I forget?
The second verse.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
That's all right. Nobody knows the difference.
CBS Tomorrow.
Revenue Officer Simon Bremer, IRS agent.
Tax season is a killer.
It's 2 in one day. We got one determined killer.
It's the first murder case where everybody in America has a motive.
We're tax collectors. Everyone hates us. Get ourselves a mystery.
New CSI Miami, CBS Tomorrow.
First, she was held hostage by Iraqi insurgents. Then she was shot by American soldiers. Now she's telling her story on 60 Minutes Wednesday.
Since 9/11, Congress has appropriated nearly $10 billion for Homeland Security to protect Americans from terrorism. The money is being doled out over a 4-year period, with much of it going to local police and emergency services charged with preventing and responding to terrorist attacks. Now, congressional critics, armed with independent studies, are alleging that the money is being squandered, that programs are riddled with handouts that have little to do with making the country safer, and everything to do with restocking police and fire departments with all sorts of equipment that has nothing to do with terrorism. It's touched off a fierce debate over how and where those billions are being spent. Tiptonville, Tennessee probably isn't on any terrorist's map of potential targets. It's not even on the rental car map, and neither is the road you take to get there. 7,900 people live in the county, spread over 164 square miles, bordered by cotton fields and the Mississippi River. The nearest city, Memphis, is a 2-hour drive. Yet Tiptonville and Lake County are getting $183,000 in Homeland Security money from the federal government, and Mayor Macy Robertson believes it's money well spent. Why would Al-Qaeda come to Tiptonville?
If I were Al-Qaeda, and I wanted to get Memphis, and I wanted to get some cities, even well, St. Louis is more than 100 miles, it's about 250. But if I wanted to get those cities, I'd come to Tiptonville. No one would ever expect me here.
$183,000 isn't a lot by Washington standards, but it's more federal money than Mayor Robertson has ever seen before. The Department of Homeland Security sent him a 13-page shopping list of approved items he could buy. So he went out and got this Gator, which is an all-terrain vehicle. He also bought a couple of defibrillators, one of which is being used at high school basketball games, and purchased protective suits for the volunteer fire department in the unlikely event that terror comes to Tiptonville. Last murder was 3 years ago. Fire alarm hasn't gone off in 3 months. Nearest nuclear power plant, a couple hundred miles away.
I agree.
This seems like one of the safest places in the country. Why do you need all this money?
Well, we would hope so. But if it's available, we're going to apply for it.
And Tiptonville is the tip of the iceberg.
There's a good deal of waste in Homeland Security expenditures that follows from the fact that we were in a big hurry after 9/11.
Republican Congressman Chris Cox of California is chairman of the House Homeland Security Committee. He says the bulk of the anti-terrorism money should have gone to protecting high-risk targets instead of being doled out to every local community in the country, whether they need it or not.
In some cases, the money just arrives. It's as if you've won the Publishers Clearinghouse sweepstakes, and you say, I'm a big winner today. Where can I spend this money?
So the money is awarded, and then they figure out how it's going to be spent.
It's exactly backwards. Instead of planning first and knowing where that money is going to go according to our priorities, it's now that I've got the money, what can I do with it?
Converse, Texas first used its new Homeland Security trailer to transport riding lawnmowers to the annual lawnmower races. Newark, New Jersey spent $250,000 on air-conditioned garbage trucks. In Columbus, Ohio, the fire department is buying bulletproof dog vests like these for its canine corps. Mason County, Washington, famous mostly for its Christmas trees, spent $63,000 for a decontamination unit that no one's been trained to use. It's been sitting in boxes in this warehouse for a year. Hazardous material suits are especially popular. The state of Missouri spent $7.2 million for 13,000 of them, one for every law enforcement officer in the Show Me state.
In Des Moines, your taxpayer dollars went to purchase, among other things, to be prepared for a terrorist attack, traffic cones.
What's that got to do with Homeland Security?
Well, you know, that's one of the beauties of Homeland Security. In the end, everything has something to do with Homeland Security.
Like the 4 Segways purchased by the Sheriff's Office in Santa Clara County, California, which could be used to transport its bomb squad in the event of a terrorist attack against facilities in Silicon Valley. Sheriff Laurie Smith and Captain Edward Perry say the protective suits are heavy, 85 pounds each, and hot. The ordnance experts are only allowed to stay in them for 30 minutes at a time. They say the Segways will allow them to get to the explosives quicker and stay there longer.